Hello, folks. This is Lenny, Della, Rocca, and Michael O'Meara with South Florida Poetry Journal here at the Miami Book Fair with Chen Chen. Welcome, Chen Chen.
Hi, it's great to be here.
We have your book here,
Awesome.
and it is absolutely marvelous. It is irreverent and surprising, and we love it. I mean, I'm not done reading it yet, but I've gone about halfway through and absolutely love the poems. And I thought we'd start off, maybe you could read a poem.
Sure.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Whichever you'd like. Pick one that you'd like to read.
How many readings are you doing today? You have like 2, I think?
Well, I'm going to come and see
Three.
it one.
Yeah.
3 readings today?
Yeah, something in the evening too.
Okay.
At the author party.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I'll read this one.
Okay.
Please take off your shoes before entering.
Yes.
Do not disturb the little strangers upon entering. The quiet, the shh, the please, follow the signs, walk, do not run, do not fall down or in love. Be respectful of the others in the space. Do not offer them food or drink, especially French fries, or any tokens of deep affection. Everyone is trying their best. Please remain calm. You may experience some turbulence, flatulence, a touch of total nauseating love. That is normal, but keep it under control. Look, the head librarian has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your desk and duck and fasten and calm and shh and do not and starboard and roger that and no fries and do not claw the walls saying you love PBS. The other passengers are trying their best to buy tomato soup, to sell their boots, to wear the socks their mothers always buy for them. Do not disturb them. Do, however, report any suspicious weathers. Crouch to sniff out any large unattended clouds. If you smell something, say something. Say, nice socks, nice boots, nice tomato soup, and the clouds will vanish. Do not say, LeVar Burton is my lover, and Mr. Rogers, my dearest friend. Quick, LeVar, Rogers, let us find what we need in this great country of burning.
That's frickin' outrageous. It's so good.
Thanks.
I was telling someone before that in reading, and that's one of my favorites because when I went through, I kind of didn't start at the beginning, flipped through, and I think that was the first one. I went, whoa, because you go off and you sort of, you're going along, and then all of a sudden there's in one or the other, all of a sudden there's goats and xylophones, or a tomato soup, and then you just weave this tapestry through, and it's a short poem, and you weave it so well.
Thank you.
And I just thought, every once in a while you come across somebody who just sort of pops, just sort of bursts, and I think that's, you just boom. I was admittedly not familiar with you or your work prior to the book fair here. So could you give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Sure. So yeah, I was born in China, came to the United States at a very early age, like around 4. Yeah, my family lived in Fort Worth, Texas, actually, for a little over a year. And then we moved to Massachusetts, and I have a poem about that in here. But yeah, and then I grew up primarily in Amherst, Massachusetts, in Western Mass. And I think being surrounded by the literary history of that area, growing up right around the corner from Emily Dickinson's house.
Right.
Like Robert Frost was always a presence. I remember doing a project on him in the 8th grade. And so, yeah, looking back, I feel really fortunate. And, my parents were also very supportive early on of me reading a lot. They were less thrilled about me wanting to be a poet.
Is that right?
Yeah, to choose that as my path.
You hit on that in the very first poem.
Yeah. But they've always been big supporters of reading, of education, of art. Well, I mean, art is something that you would do on the side, but But yeah, so I think coming up in that environment,
right.
and having some really wonderful English teachers early on as well, really just spurred on my
Yes,
interest
yes.
in literature.
I can't imagine the inventiveness can be taught though, because the twists and turns
Mm.
they're unexpected, but they're not jarring.
Mhm.
You know, it has an organic hold, no matter how far out you get.
Mhm.
And I think it's a wonderful quality.
Oh, thank you.
I think, yeah, that's something that just has to sort of like a lightning strike, you know, lightning in a bottle type of thing, I think, because obviously I imagine in the writing process when you're doing this that these, I assume, some of those images just sort of come out of nowhere. Would you say that would be true, or?
That's a good question. I think that sometimes I very deliberately want to throw a wrench
Yeah.
into where I think the poem is going to go.
Yeah.
Because I think if there isn't a surprise for me,
Yeah.
then there wouldn't be for the reader.
Yeah.
So I want to be sort of caught off guard with my own tendencies in how I write something. So sometimes, very literally, I'll be writing in a coffee shop or on a bus and just looking out the window.
Sure.
Or around me in the room, the physical space, and just think, oh, what could I pull into this poem
Sure.
that's around me? I think especially when I'm writing about experiences that are emotionally difficult, or tumultuous, or very personal, I think that bringing something from the present space into the poem jolts me and pushes me in some other direction that I wouldn't have thought to take initially.
Yeah, and that's what shows. I mean, that's what really comes through.
Mm.
Now, being surrounded, like you say, by the ghosts of Emily and Frost and all this, who, or maybe who would you say influenced you early on in your writing, or did anyone kind of influence you?
I think really early on, actually, television was very influential for me. The show Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a big influence of, the kind of humor prevalence on that show, the campiness of, the production of it at times. But yeah, how I think it just was very unafraid of mixing all these different elements, of drama, of comedy, of horror, of sci-fi, fantasy, really embracing all these different elements. And I think that range of emotions and aesthetic choices appeal to me early on. But yeah, I mean, one of the big literary influences has definitely been Pablo Neruda. Who I also mentioned in one of the poems. And I think that's also because he wrote so many different kinds of poems. I mean, in the United States, he's mainly known for his love poems. But, he has these odes, he has these political poems about, the Spanish Civil War.
Sure.
His later love poems are also incredible. So there's so much that he offers as a writer. And I think that that's something that I aspire to do or attempt to do myself.